Hello, my fellow dear little ones. How have you been doing? And you might have been doing fine as you won't be here in your sleep today, right? Yeah, okay, fine. Now I have the questions. But before getting in touch with the questions, I have some little things to say. So, last week you remember I told you to go refer those places like the Versailles Palace and then this, what do you call this, Saint Michel's. I told you those sort of things. Now did anyone go check them? The Mississippi River and all? If you didn't, you have to try them out, right? So I reminded you today also, and now let me turn my book and start with question number 1. Question number 1 asks you, do you live in the sea or rivers? Do starfish live in the sea or rivers? Do starfish live in the sea or rivers? Means the two options given are sea or river. Sea or river. I think starfish lives in the sea, na? Normally when you say starfish, I remember the sea. I don't think starfish might live in rivers. It sort of looks like odd, isn't it? I think it has to be sea. Let's go check it out.
The answer is
sea. I told you the answer would be sea. So the starfish lives in the sea, not in rivers. So, starfish or sea stars are star-shaped echinoderms belong to the class of Asteroidea. So, this starfish is like a star. They have it is shaped like a star, this animal, and they belong to the class of Asteroidea. Common usage frequently find their names also applied as ophiuroids, which are referred to as Bristol stars or basket stars, right? And then about 1,500 species of starfish occur in the seabed. And then starfish are marine invertebrates. What do you mean by invertebrates? Okay, are we invertebrates or are we vertebrates? We are vertebrates because we have this backbone through which we can stand straight and we can sit straight, right? But the starfish is just a star-shaped animal, something like this, and it does not have a vertebrate column. It is an invertebrate then. So they are found in the interdial zone down the abyssal depths around 6,000 meters below the surface. And the starfish, they have tube feet operated by the hydraulic system and mouth at the center of the oral or lower face. It has a mouth at the center and it has tube feet. That is it about the starfish. Anyone of you have seen starfish? No? Go refer and check who a starfish is. You might fall in love with a starfish. Starfish is pretty. Moving on to the next question, which is question number 2 of the day. Right. Which element is a liquid at ordinary temperature? Which element is a liquid at ordinary temperature? Option number 1 is mercury, option number 2 is iron, option number 3 is copper. Which element is a liquid at ordinary temperature? Mercury, iron or copper? Cannot be iron. I don't think iron could change its shape. I mean, at ordinary temperature to be a liquid and then to be a solid or something? No. Copper also no, but mercury, yes. I think it could be mercury. Let's go check whether the answer is right, and if it's right, I think I have a logic behind that.
The answer is
Mercury. Mercury. My answer was correct. Now let me tell you the logic behind that. The logic is, anyone of you are suffering from fever? I mean, have you suffered from fever? Oh, I have. Have you all? I don't know whether you all have, but if you have, just remind and see. Once you got fever, something called a thermometer is kept under your arm. Remember? Yeah. So, in this thermometer, in the edge, you have something called mercury, which goes up if you have the heat in your body. Means if you have fever, the mercury level rises, and if you don't have, it is as where it is. So then, mercury is something which stays, it's a liquid which stays, it is a solid, but it could stay as a liquid in ordinary temperature. That is it about mercury. Now we've got to move on to question number 3. Okay, let me tell you what question number 3 is. Which chemical is the reason behind the brown color of human faces? Which chemical is the reason behind the brown color of human faces? Getting something wrong with my throat also. Fine, finish. Okay, so do you know why our faces are brown? Okay, so if I ask this question from myself, I would say, okay, my mother is little tan, I mean not very fair, so I'm this color. And you might say, my father and mother is very tan and I'm this color. And some of you might say, my mother and father is this much fair and I'm this color. So now what I have to tell is, what is the options given here, right? What chemical is the reason behind the brown color of human faces? Bilirubin, sodium nitrate or methane? Bilirubin, sodium nitrate or methane? I really don't know the answer for this. I think we could check it out, right? Let's go check.
the answer is
Bilirubin. It was bilirubin, right? So I didn't really know this. Good that I got to know. Now I'm gonna go home and ask mommy, what is the reason for my brown color face? And if my mommy says, okay, you have got my color, I would tell her, no, this bilirubin is a chemical. The reason behind our brown face. I would obviously tell her this to show that I have done my homework. Yes. So I think I've got something wrong with my throat and I've got to clear it out. So I'll just go have something and be back. Okay. Stay here. Bye. Welcome back. Okay, so we have to go to question number 4, right? Yeah, actually I got my throat and all clear and now I'm fine. Now I'm gonna go to question number 4. Is a cockle a type of bird or shellfish? Is a cockle a type of bird or a shellfish? Is a cockle a type of bird or a shellfish? Is it a bird or a shellfish? I think it is a bird. Cockle. Let's go check what it is.
the answer is
Shellfish. It was shellfish, right? Actually, I didn't know this. This cockle, I heard it now that it is an edible marine mollusk. You know mollusca, right? Those have a shell. And although many edible bivalves are loosely called cockles, true cockles are species of the family Cardidae. So they are called cockles. Loosely they are called cockles, but true cockles are species of the family Cardidae. True cockles live in sandy and sheltered beaches throughout the world. Numerous radial envy-spaced strips are a feature of the shell, but not in almost everyone, right? The shell of a cockle is able to close completely. The cockle shell could close completely. Though the shell of a cockle may superficially resemble that of scallop because of the ribs, cockles can be distinguished from scallops. Behaviorally, cockles live buried in sediment, whereas scallops either are free and will swim in the water column to avoid predators, or in some cases live attached. So, this shellfish is a cockle which is edible, and this is a marine animal, and this is a animal belonging to the mollusca family, which means an animal with a shell. It is. They have a shell which has numerous radial and evenly spaced ribs, and the shell, most important thing is the shell of the cockle is completely closed down. Here we have to move on to question number 5, which is the question before the last. So, here I read out the question number 5. Extreme tornadoes can attain wind speeds of up to what? Extreme tornadoes can attain wind speeds of up to what? 150? How do you read this? That is meters per hour. 150 meters per hour, 300 meters per hour, 500 meters per hour. Extreme tornadoes. I didn't know this. I think we could check this out. I have a slight guess that this could be 500 also, but I still think, is it too much? Let's go check it out.
The answer is
300 meters per hour. The answer was 300 meters per hour. Actually, why couldn't I guess this up? Something between 150 and 500. But fine, we gotta know it. You know what a tornado is? Have you seen a cyclone? So the cyclone is, the tornado is the baby of the cyclone. A cyclone is a big wind sort of a thing. Tornado is also something like that, but something something which is small, you know. So, moving on to question number 6. Match the name with the picture. Okay, so the Forbidden City, China is option number 1. Acropolis, Greece is option number 2. Versailles Palace, France, or Versailles Palace is option number 3. And Mont Saint Michel, France is option number 4. What is this now? I don't know. It could be Versailles, right? Looks like a palace. It could be Versailles Palace. I'm not very sure, but just guessing, you know. Let's go check it out.
The answer is
Overseas Palace. You saw the answer and it was Versailles Palace, right? The Versailles Palace is a royal castle located in France. It is about 15 miles southwest of Paris and easily reached by train. Okay, now France is my future travel destination. I mean, just hoping it to be. So, France is one of my favorite countries, you know. It has a lot of beautiful things. I think Disney World and then Eiffel Tower, all these things I love. I've just heard, not seen actually, but as I am a Disney fan, I think France would be the ideal country for me. Yeah, so and this Versailles Palace, I just hope that I get to spend one day there. I don't know if I'll be able, but I'm just hoping for. So this palace was built in late 17th century as home for the France king at the time, Louis XIV. And it took about 3,000 workers to construct the palace and the grounds. The daily routine of Louis XVI was planned out in detail when he lived at Versailles. He had over 200 servants to carry out various duties in the palace. The palace of Versailles cost about $2 billion in today's money. It has over 700 rooms and 60 staircases and over 1,200 fireplaces also. A seat of French government was officially moved to Versailles. The huge gardens were spectacular as the palace itself. They covered around 30,000 acres. They have 400 sculptures and 1,400 fountains. Wow, you could enjoy playing with water so much. Yes. The grounds also contain two smaller palaces, both elaborately decorated and furnished. And here I turn the next page. The Palace of Versailles was decorated with valuable paintings. It contained about 6,000 paintings and 5,000 pieces of furniture. The Hall of Mirrors is one of the most spectacular rooms in the palace. And huge kitchens alone 100 employees of people. However, it was located so far away from the dining room that the kitchen's meal were often served cold. Now, the kitchen is that far from the dining room that when you bring hot food from the kitchen, it would have become cold when it reached the dining room. So, this Versailles Palace must be such a huge one to have around 700 rooms and then 60 staircases, 1,400 fountains and all of that. Might be a very beautiful place. I think it has to be my dream destination now. Dobby, wake up! Not the time for you to fall asleep. Wake up, Dobby, wake up. Wake up, Dobby, wake up. Wake up, Dobby, wake up. You have food cooked at home. Your mommy might be waiting, Dobby, wake up. Okay. Dobby is fit and fine, okay? So, We were talking about France, and France is a good dream destination, and I would always love to travel to France and see this Versailles Palace also, and then to be to Disneyland and to roam everywhere else, right? So I think that is it for today, and I would love to see you the next day also like this, and please do your homework also. Go refer these diagrams and see. You might build up your dreams on going to these places, right? So if you have any questions, you can send them to my address. You see it right on the screen. Number 244.19 Express, Cadwell Road, Malabar. And then what you have to do is to send your questions and whatever you have to say to our phone number, note 7682122266, and follow us up on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and then subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Airpass TV. I'll be back the next day also. Until then, bye bye.